Hi and welcome to RICS, and in this video I'll walk you through how to use the assessment platform, the functions and steps you should be taking to assist your candidates in completing their submission requirements. I'll also provide additional resources to help ensure success for all counsellors and candidates. The global team and I would also like to thank you for supporting the next generation seeking to pursue professional status. To access the platform, you will need to type in and save assessment.rics.org and log in using your email and password associated with your RICS account. The website is where you will be approving and providing feedback to candidates regarding their documents and other assessment requirements. The RICS assessment platform will be accessible to all current professional members with an active candidate. As such, you may have limited or no access to the platform if you are not nominated as a current counsellor. When a candidate nominates you, you should receive an email to confirm that candidate's request. Alternatively, you can review all these requests in the platform from the menu bar on the left-hand side and navigate to approvers or request, or at the top of the screen under clicking your profile. This page shows all requests to act as a counsellor and also requests to support as a proposer and seconder depending on your country and region. When approving any request, please read to ensure that you're either approving to support a candidate as a counsellor or as a proposer or seconder. To approve, you must select yes and submit to save this. If you can no longer support a candidate in their journey, we do recommend that you contact them and advise that they'll need to seek the support of another professional member. As a general hint, if you want to navigate back to the home screen, you can click on the RICS logos at the top of the screen or in the left-hand side menu bar. When you have approved a new candidate request as a counsellor, they will appear in your home screen as a new entry. This view will also be the main homepage when you first log into the platform. RICS does recommend that all candidates notify their counsellors when they have successfully enrolled and been granted access to the platform. As a supportive counsellor, we also recommend that you acknowledge that you have accepted the request and want to schedule a call to discuss RICS, progression, and a plan of action. On the RICS website, under Join RICS and clicking on Assessments Information, it will have details including the FAQs, additional support and guidance for candidates, including on how to apply for assessment. There's counsellor and assessor guides and other resources, including the upcoming dates of assessment. Each region's assessment dates will differ globally, so please ensure you select the correct region to be aware of the next windows of assessment. And further down on that page is an optional training plan, as well as a few submission examples towards the bottom. In your time, review the whole page to gain an additional understanding of the different assessment types. Also, this is the page where RICS will post regular updates regarding the assessment and any changes. On the platform homepage, it will show a list view of all the candidates you are supporting, their name, email address, phone number, and also the last time they logged into the platform. You may also notice 3 icons, and these have been intentionally developed to help you quickly identify candidates who have requested support, showing a red notification dot for the items that need feedback and approval. These icons correspond to Summary of Experience, Case Study, and Approved by Counsellor. There is also a help icon below at the bottom of the page that includes the contact details of the local RICS office, along with user guides, tutorials such as this, and other relevant guides. We know that being RICS can be personally rewarding. As such, RICS recognizes that this can satisfy the service to RICS characteristics recognized for the Fellowship FRICS application. Supporting multiple candidates and successfully helping them pass the final assessment can contribute in helping you provide evidence towards this. For your success as a counsellor, we do recommend that you review all the counsellor guides to help further your understanding and time commitments, obligations, and best practices on the support you can provide. Do note, the level of support that you are required to give a candidate will vary depending on their qualification and experience. So think about and reflect on the tips and advice that you can give your candidate and be proactive in this role. The Counsellor Guide lists all the training and support and the roles and activities you can engage with your candidate on the APC Structured, the APC Prelim, SPA, and even Academic, including additional support for the final assessment. In your own time, review the full guidance available to help set up a plan of action for each candidate you support. At the top of the screen, you may also notice a counselor training module to be completed. This must be completed before you can approve any part of the candidate submission. We recommend that you also complete if you haven't done it in a while. Our global team for your region may also be conducting briefing sessions for counselors, and these will be communicated when available. When reviewing your candidate, you can click on Show More. This will reveal a progress tracker that mirrors the candidate's platform in real time and will show items appearing in red as not started, items in orange as started but not yet completed, and green as completed. For the candidate with your support, the aim is to turn the whole progress tracker green to allow the candidate to submit for assessment. As a counselor, there are 3 main action items that you need to complete, while the candidate is responsible for the rest. The candidate will be responsible to ensure that they have met all the eligibility requirements and timeframe applicable by their route of assessment. As a counselor, knowing when or how long they must stay on assessment based on their experience will help you in planning with the candidate on when and what dates they should be aiming for. The candidate is responsible for their CPD, but as a counselor, you'll be able to review that CPD by clicking on it and seeing a full record for the candidate. This can be a great starting point for you as a counselor to see what training, courses, and study the candidate may be completing to help increase their knowledge and skills as a future professional and the relevance to their role and suggestions you may be able to recommend. You can also view the competency selector, and as a counselor, it's essential that the candidate selects the correct pathway relevant to their job role. Your in-depth knowledge and understanding of these competencies is therefore vital to the success of the candidate. Additionally, when supporting a candidate with limited experience, you may wish to speak to their manager if you work for the same company, or encourage if you are supporting a candidate outside your firm or company to discuss with their line manager about RICS so they are supported and the competency selection is relevant and planned accordingly. You can also review if the candidate has input their employment history, and recommended that you double check prior to submitting for the final assessment that they have included a complete career history relevant to their pathway and have provided a summary of the roles and responsibilities. You can see if the professionalism module, the RICS ethics test, is completed, as you may wish to test the knowledge of this when conducting mock interviews and interview preparation for the APC and SPA candidates. As a counselor, while there are additional responsibilities and advice that you can give, being proactive in this role, ensuring all scheduled meetings and calls are kept towards the promised timeline, plus also regular check-ins on the candidate's progress to ensure that they're supported, will help ensure their success in a timely manner. As a counselor, the main action in this platform is to review, provide feedback and advice, or approve elements of the written submission. To approve these, you will either notice that there is a notification dot when they've submitted something, the tracker as well might turn to orange, or at the top of the screen, there's an envelope which shows all the action items that you need to review. To do this, you can click on the case study or summary of experience. This will load a drop-down, allowing you to first download a copy of that submission. As an additional tip, reviewing the candidate guide, counselor guide, assessor guide, and pathway can greatly enhance your knowledge of the requirements and what is expected within the written submission to ensure all elements are covered. These guides will also break down the additional elements such as maximum word count, inclusions, structure, and the levels of writing that is required to ensure if the chosen examples and the activities accurately demonstrate the competence towards the declared experience. After reviewing the candidate's written documentation, you can provide feedback, recommendations, areas of improvement, including changes or alterations that they could be making. You can type this here and submit feedback. RICS does understand that you may wish to provide this feedback by other means, such as email, phone, or in a meeting to discuss. If doing this, please ensure that you do click feedback or the approval in the platform to unlock the functionality for the candidate to upload a newer version. This function will remain locked until you have done this step. When approving, you certify, in your opinion, that the candidate has reached the level of proficiency that justifies attending the final assessment. You will not be required to type in any feedback and only need to press approve and submit. This is the same process when approving and providing feedback for both the case study and summary of experience. As a reminder, being a counselor, the task at hand is not just approving their submission. More importantly, you're confirming that you consider the candidate to be suitable to become a professional member who will uphold those rigorous standards of RICS. You are signing a declaration in your capacity as an RICS professional and such, bound by the RICS ethics, rules of conduct, and professionalism. This is why the last icon is the Approve Candidate, which is your last action item. Please note you must read and agree to the statement by clicking on it or sliding it to purple and then click Submit Approval. Once this step is completed, the candidate within their platform can complete a declaration and will be able to submit for the next available assessment window when opened. As a supportive counselor and to ensure success that your candidate can pass the final assessment interview as a SPA or APC candidate, we do have a couple of suggestions that you could do to help this process. We outline many action items that you can additionally complete to help your candidate in preparing for the final assessment interview. To further develop your confidence, on the RICS website under Join RICS, Assessments Information, and clicking on the Assessor Information, you can review and download the full assessor guidance that will outline the structure, including questioning techniques that may be used within the assessment. RICS highly recommends that you allow sufficient time for your candidate leading up to the interview to include rehearsing the 10-minute presentation multiple times to build their confidence, and in addition to help facilitate mock interviews that follow the 60-minute interview structure. The purpose is to ensure that they can articulate and provide clear evidence towards their declared experience in a confident manner to the required levels. Facilitating these mock interviews has shown a significant increase in candidates passing their final assessment interview first time, and additionally helps provide more evidence towards the fellowship characteristic of service to RICS for you as a counsellor. In the event your candidate has been referred, as a counsellor, this is a great learning experience to see what you can do next time to help better prepare the candidate. While there are some factors that are out of your control, such as performance, nerves, and the candidate not yet being ready, you will need to help them understand the outcome of the assessment and accept the reality of the situation. The easiest approach is using the referral report and agree on how to address those deficiencies identified in the referral. I do recommend that you create this into an action plan of the changes that you wish to see, which will help you in ensuring that it's completed and updated as well before you reapprove. This concludes on how to use the RICS assessment platform and additional information for counsellors.